has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
We are back with another episode of the Fan Awakens. We're on episode 7 today. It's E and G back on the mics, and I do have a question to open up this thing with you, G, as we always do. Do you think that in Star Wars, you know, in the galaxy far, far away, do they have country music?
You know, I would say yes, because in Solo, we've gotten some mentions of the words gun, and I do believe it was, bourbon?
Brandy.
Yeah, brandy.
And, I mean, yeah, I feel like if you have we know, I mean, Galen Erso was a moisture farmer.
And there you
I
go.
believe he was a farmer. If you have a farm, you gotta have country, right?
Exactly. So,
Moisture on the galaxy horizon. I think I would. So this is what I'm getting into. This is because I was recently asked if I was in a galaxy far, far away, you know, what would my my profession be? And I was thinking country singer because I I feel like that's not something I would ever do here. So maybe that's exactly why it would be my my calling out there.
probably in some underground club in Coruscant.
No, I think I'd be pretty mainstream, to be honest.
Oh, you'd be traveling from
Yeah,
planet
from
to planet?
system to system, planet to planet, knowing my country thing.
Would you have a name?
Yeah. I haven't thought of that, to be honest, but I figured it'd be something like let's go with. No, I feel like I don't know what my name would be, but every year I do the Tatooine Jamboree, and it's just a big Star Wars country music festival, and I
Oh.
would probably headline that thing.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's what I was thinking. What about you? Country singer as well, probably.
I'll probably take part in the jamboree.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe become. I don't know if you're a solo artist, but
No, I got a band. You could be in the band.
yeah.
All right, so we're a duo. We're like the 21 pilots of Country of a Galaxy Far, Far Away.
You heard it here first.
Yep, that's actually not gonna happen.
Oh.
Bit nasally today, but anyways, we're still gonna carry on with the episode, and we got a pretty packed list. But kicking it off, we're going with episode 9 news as usual. It's our favorite thing to talk about, and that is because it's the most exciting thing for us, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I need to ask you. Do you have episode 9 on top of your list, or do you have The Mandalorian or The Clone Wars season 7? What's on top of your list of anticipation? Because mine is episode 9.
I think it's exactly the list that you've just broke it down in. Yeah, episode 9, Mandalorian, and Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, yeah. And of course, we have the Cassian Andor series, which we're going to talk about a little bit coming up. But the first thing on the agenda, episode 9 footage, Collider's Steve Frosty Weintraub announced today that he has it under good word that apparently we're getting episode 9 footage this month.
Wow.
So my question is, what does that mean? Because footage can mean a lot of things. Because I could be mistaken on this, and I just read this right before we went on, but I remember distinctly that when Rogue One is coming out, I can't remember if it was before a trailer dropped or what. I want to say it wasn't.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
But you remember they released that reel?
Yeah.
And same thing with Solo, of the sort of behind the scenes,
Yeah.
B-roll kind of footage.
Yeah.
And I'm a little nervous about that. I know JJ wouldn't allow them to release something that's going to spoil anything,
yeah.
but still, if we get that, I'm sure. They don't even got to show us characters, but I would love that if they do it right. What I mean is, I would love to have, before we get any trailer, just a thing that's like shots, not even characters that we know, just shots. Maybe a shot in the corner of the Falcon, a shot on a new planet, maybe. Just things to intrigue us without giving us an ounce of story, without giving us anything away. And then maybe you show the slightest shot of Rey in the background or something and just say episode 9, 2019. Maybe give us the title.
Yeah, I could see that happening. It sort of reminds me of the Rogue One, because I remember there was that succession of quick shots of all those different creatures.
Yeah.
And then I was I was right there. I was intrigued. I was like, holy crap, all these different creatures were gonna possibly make an appearance.
That's all they need to do,
Yeah, it just
being
had
a
me
year out.
Yeah, it just got me intrigued. And so I was like, Yeah, I'm all aboard for that.
And especially with Disney having so much coming out. I mean, rumored
Yeah.
we have an Avengers and a Spider-Man trailer coming out this week
Exactly.
on top of the Captain Marvel trailer. I don't think they need a Star Wars trailer,
Yeah,
but that little roll of footage would be really nice.
it would. It would. I wouldn't be against it.
No, definitely not. And if they want to, they could even... I don't know. I was thinking maybe they could do one of those things where it's like before Mary Poppins comes on, it's like attached to it. It's like...
Oh.
Or even after, it's like stay tuned afterwards for a sneak peek at Star Wars Episode 9. You believe I would see Mary Poppins about 10 times. I think that'd be a really cool idea, though.
Yeah.
You could put it in front. I mean, I know the Mary Poppins target audience. I think there's a lot of crossover, to be honest, but it's not necessarily... I mean, that's more of a directly like a children's movie, but when you think about Mary Poppins specifically, it has a lot of older,
Yeah.
older fans, and because it's such an old film. You have multiple generations that are going to see it. What do you need for Star Wars? Multiple generations, and it's Disney.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do think at its core, Star Wars is a family film franchise, and I think that Mary Poppins in December is something that's going to attract families.
Yeah. Like it just shows you the power that Disney has with this choice. Like they could, yeah, if they do that, I could see it working, perfectly with the whole concept of, Star Wars being a family film. It like I would say it is multi-generational.
Because I have zero doubt. Obviously, we're going to have Captain Marvel trailer attached to Mary Poppins. That just makes too much sense.
Yeah.
Would it be... How crazy would it be? And I don't know if this would be counterproductive or what, but just thinking about this, with the release schedule, with the trailers possibly coming out, would it be crazy to think that they would put Star Wars, this footage, apparently, on Mary Poppins if we already... Hypothetically here, if they tag all 3 Marvel trailers before Mary Poppins, so it's just Marvel, 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 would they still put on Star Wars?
That could be...
I say why not?
Hey, Disney's calling the shots here. Why not? They could do that easily.
So then I'm gonna say over under 50%. So it's pretty much, which do you think? Do you think that this is going to be more of a traditional teaser, and I mean a real teaser, not like a story teaser? I'm talking episode 7 teaser with the hand and the lightsaber floating through space, and a little bit of dialogue over, narration. Do you think that Clytus Frosty Weintraub is talking about is going to be a teaser, or do you think it's going to be some footage? Over under 50% that it's going to be footage.
Footage.
Yeah.
I would say over.
Yeah.
Well, it's
too.
tough because I don't. What they like? Did they? They didn't do anything like that for episode 8, did they? Some footage.
I don't believe so. No.
They just did for like episode 7
no.
and
There
8.
was for episode 8. There was a footage, like a B-roll kind of clip. But because remember, it was like showing them filming with a crate with all the red.
Yeah,
you remember that?
Yeah.
That was before. That was different from the trailers. Episode 7, I don't remember.
Because I'm like, that's the best example we can go off of. Because J.J. Abrams,
of course,
was doing that. So I was like, I don't remember if he did.
It's tough.
Yeah,
but they've done it with every film since for sure. So I would kind of be surprised if they don't do that.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
But maybe, it does make more sense for me actually thinking about it for them to hold off on that until like November before it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm putting my money, although it's not very much, on the teaser.
Yeah.
Very, very small teaser. Something that doesn't give us anything, and maybe the title.
You just hear like voices.
Yeah,
voice.
Maybe some narration. Maybe it's Force Ghost Luke talking to Rey. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe it's Obi-Wan. That'd be crazy. Hello there.
They didn't.
Episode 9. The Hello There Awakens.
That's exactly what I had in mind. Yes.
But yeah, I mean, so it's a lot of speculation there. Who knows? Well, I guess we'll just have to wait throughout the month of December and see what happens. But also in episode 9 news, there's some rumors that came out that this is there's images and stuff, leaked pictures. I don't want to see any of that, so I didn't read too much into this. But there's rumors going around that apparently the story is going to take place 1 year after episode 8. So my question for you, I mean, there's a lot to think about with this. So we got 1 year. I mean, there's a lot of things going through my mind. Where do I want Rey to be exactly in her Jedi training? I don't think that she'll be training any Jedis within 1 year. I think she's still going to be learning, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that in that year she would have definitely had a lot of talks with Luke, probably with Yoda, and maybe Obi-Wan. But if they're going to make her a Kenobi, I would want to save that Obi-Wan chat for in the actual film, like the first time she talks to him. But my question is, where do you think we're gonna be? Where do you think the rebellion's gonna be? We got a year's time.
I think they'll perhaps hopefully create a base and an outpost on some planet.
For sure.
It would be cool to see Rey honing her her force skills, like learning more, because that was like a large thing. She opened, like Luke was teaching her the concept of the force and how it doesn't really belong to the Jedi, and to see how the force becomes more expanded, maybe how they expand her powers of the force, and just that's where I would want to see Rey.
She does have the ancient Jedi texts.
Oh yeah,
she has them all. I'm sure she's read them cover to cover by this point.
Exactly, yeah. That's all. But with the rebellion, I expect them to recruiting people, and
I hope that Lando's already in the fold when this movie opens. I hope that, because here's my hope. I hope that he comes in, because I hope that I heard some people upset. Actually, a lot of people. I always hear, like, why didn't Lando answer Leia's distress beacon? Dude, they had a couple minutes. It's like she put out the beacon and then they arrived. It's a big galaxy.
Yeah.
You can't just, I know there's hyperspace and all that stuff going to light speed. You can't just snap your fingers and appear.
Mm-hmm.
Lando's probably doing his thing. He's probably talking some people up, flirting with a robot. I don't know. Yeah. Whatever he's doing, even if he got the distress signal, I don't think there's any way that he makes it to Crate before that battle's over.
Yeah.
It was a quick battle. It kind of came and happened really quick. So I think that what I hope is that he got the beacon and ended up meeting up with him somewhere shortly after episode 8. So that when we get into 9, he's already in the fold. Not necessarily there when the movie begins, but he's part of the rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that we got some Lando help. Yeah.
So what do you think about the state of the rebellion in a year's time? What do you think they'll be?
I think that they're going to be, I think what I kind of hope is that they'll be around what the rebellion was in A New Hope.
Wow.
So kind of spread throughout the galaxy. People are kind of getting on board more, really guerrilla fighting here and there, not just 15 people on the Falcon.
Yeah.
So I mean, basically what they were in The Force Awakens, more or less.
Yeah.
I just hope they have a little more numbers. Rey is sort of able to do her thing. I hope that we see Finn, now that he's sort of, because the big thing in episode 8 with Finn's arc, however small it may have been, was him accepting that maybe he should be part of this rebellion. He kind of cemented himself as part of the rebellion when he said, rebel scum.
Yeah.
He called himself that.
Mm-hmm.
Because before it's all about Rey, and I think to a degree it still is all about Rey, but he's accepted that there's more to it. So I hope that through that, think about Han Solo from A New Hope to episode 5, Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
In A New Hope, he was just a pilot. He didn't even want to help,
Yeah.
And then in episode 5, he was a commander. He was one of their best pilots.
Yeah.
He was, very into the fold. That's what I want for Finn. I want to see him take more of a leadership role, more of a prominent role in the rebellion,
Yeah.
So that when we start the film, he's there doing his thing. Maybe he's helping captain a ship. Who knows?
Yeah, because I'm they utilized him well. Because I forget what was his job in the First Order.
Sanitation.
Yeah, and so they used what knowledge that he has.
He was a stormtrooper. He was in the field, but when he was on Starkiller Base specifically, he was sanitation.
Oh yeah. So I'm I could definitely see him rising up the ranks. But I also wanted to ask about what's the state of the First Order? They're still.
The First Order is fine.
Yeah, because I'm what's gonna stand against them? So I'm I hope the rebellion is more than 15 people on the Falcon. So
yeah,
I could see that. Yeah, having multiple just alliances formed, like we see alliances formed.
Of course,
and just they'll be there at their beck and call.
And we're gonna see. I mean, it's just I don't know. I think that they're gonna keep the story pretty close to the chest for the most part with the
Yeah.
trailers and the marketing until maybe the second or third trailer. That'd probably come in like fall 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, yeah, I'm not too worried about it. I'm pretty excited. I think a year's time is enough.
Yeah.
I would even prefer. I think a year is the least amount of time I would like in between episode 8 and 9 in terms of timeline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's good news. But moving on to a little TV news here, Cassian Andor, the series that's going to premiere on Disney Plus, has found a showrunner in one of the producers of this TV show, The Americans, Stephen Schiff, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard? I've heard of The Americans. I've seen the trailers all over.
Yeah.
I know it's gone through. It's had a couple seasons at least.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen it. Have you?
I can't say that I have, but I've heard great things about it.
Yeah, I've heard good things as well, and it has staying power. It's been around for a while.
Yeah.
So those are all good things. So I'm excited about that. That's good news that they're getting people that are capable of the job, first off.
Yeah.
But something that intrigued me more than that, as far as TV goes, was that Joe Russo had a comment about The Mandalorian. And he said that it is he said it's unlike any TV show before. And so
that's exactly what you want to hear.
What you take from that could be anything. I mean,
yeah.
I don't even know what to say, because Joe Russo, we know him. He's a great storyteller.
Exactly.
And he's a great director. He's a great collaborator.
Yep.
You know what this makes me want to do? It makes me want to start a campaign to get the Russos to direct some of The Mandalorian.
Oh,
I think it makes so much sense.
You get a petition going?
Especially
I'm sure.
because, yeah, it's not going to do anything. Maybe we'll raise some money to pay them. But because they started on TV, their work with the community and all that. Now they have this relationship with Disney, Favreau. Dude, season 2, I want to see the Russos directing either the premiere or the finale.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
With that quote, it's like, for me, I take that as like, that's exactly what I want to hear, because, to see the people behind this, one, and then to see the budget behind this,
yeah, and
to see that Disney's backing them, there's just, and then now, Joe, saying, him seeing what he saw, getting the inside scoop, it just further builds excitement.
And I think this means something, because Joe Russo is a guy that's been on plenty of TV sets.
Yeah, that's true.
Plenty.
Exactly, yeah.
And he knows TV. And I think that, dude, just from like a TV guy standpoint, now that obviously he's done these blockbuster films too, but going back to a TV set and seeing what they must be cooking up over there, must be wild.
Exactly, yeah.
He must be thinking, this is like what we had to work with Captain America.
Yeah.
On TV, which is insane.
Exactly. So it just makes me more hyped for the show.
Yeah, that's incredibly exciting stuff to hear. And I know people are like, well, what do you want him to say? He's not part of the TV show. He didn't have to make that comment, Yeah. It's something he chose to do. So that's really exciting. So what this makes me also want to do is, here's what we should do. Start a campaign to visit the Mandalorian set. They'll probably like sew our mouths shut, make us sign like 200 pages of non-disclosure agreements and all that, but I think it's worth it.
Oh, yeah. You bet I wouldn't say anything about this if I were to be invited to see
Not
it.
a thing. No. Bob Iger, if you're listening to this.
Exactly.
I think that Bob Iger's probably under a burner account listening to this podcast every week.
Exactly.
And so if you are, this is a little message to you. Big fan of what you're doing over at Disney, and we would love a little tour of Mandalorian set. Anyways, that's probably gonna pan out. What else we got today? Nick Nolte. That's some small news, but Nick Nolte is been cast in The Mandalorian apparently.
Oh, and yeah, I forget who he was exactly.
Nick Nolte?
Yeah, it's like his name sounds familiar.
He was the dad in Warrior. He was in The Incredible Hulk. Let me think. What else was he in? He's very like a ruffian kind of guy,
And they don't say, they just say he's just in it, right? But
yeah, I haven't heard any like news. They're not going to give us anything like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a very established actor. He's up there in age. He's 70s, upper 70s. I think he's a perfect kind of here. Look, I got a picture for you. This is Nick Nolte right here.
Like. Oh, okay.
What do you think Nick Nolte's gonna? What do you think this guy's gonna give us? You think he's gonna be like an old Mandalorian? I don't know. I hope he's
Expect him to be evil.
yeah, same. I hope he's a bad guy.
What's that guy's name in he was on the Dreadnought that you always refer to?
Captain Kennedy.
Yep.
Yeah, he's great. No, I'm Armitage Hux. Mark Lewis Jones, great actor. I would love. Actually, you know what? I think the timeline might fit, dude. We can get Captain Kennedy in The Mandalorian.
Oh,
The timeline works.
that would be amazing. Yeah, do you utilize him just like from what
I'll
we
start
saw?
a GoFundMe to pay his paycheck.
Oh, okay.
I'll put the first $5 in right now.
I'll
It's on
just
the
do
table.
that.
Mark Lewis Jones, we need you in it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna call John Favreau after this.
But yeah, what do you think? What's
Nick
at least
Nolte?
what'll he be?
Scum, villainy, one of the
Yeah.
two, maybe a mix of both.
I would say the same. He fits that description.
But this just goes on to like every casting news, man. They're all like talent, man.
It just
talent.
again adds to the hype, and you just continuously like
It's crazy.
it. Just can't wait.
Also, we got some more news. Star Wars Celebration announced more authors coming through, which is exciting. They got pretty much all the new canon authors in there. They got the author of Ahsoka, Phasma, the Lando novel, along with, of course, my favorite Claudia Gray. I believe Timothy Zahn's going to be there. And the announcement, we got another Thrawn book coming. Thrawn Treason, I believe. And I'm in. I have the second Thrawn novel queued up in my library. I read the first. Tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't. I'm finishing Ahsoka right now. Once I finish that, I'm going to be getting into the second Thrawn book, and so a third Thrawn. Very interesting. Very interesting topic. I've heard some very interesting things about the second Thrawn book. A lot of Anakin in there, Padme. So I'm really excited to get into that Clone Wars era stuff.
Oh man,
So I mean, that's some of our favorite stuff right there.
there we go.
I was just playing Battlefront 2 today. I haven't played that in months. I love it.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why I ever stopped.
yeah. I was just watching. I missed that.
I just put on the Poe helmet. I turn off the lights.
I
I wear a Star Wars robe.
wouldn't discredit that. I would say that's probably true.
Yeah, and I just play the game. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing, interesting thing from Disney. Not surprising thing. It just makes sense for them. I'm not really a fan of I mean, I think it's fine. So they released this thing on YouTube, Star Wars Galaxy Adventures. Basically, it's giving us, from what I understand, they're like short films kind of things. Think of it like the Star Wars kids books, like the one I just got about. It's pretty much the New Hope, but in a little kids book version.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand, it's pretty much like that. So it's like you can share Star Wars with your kids, but in this little cartoon version. I really don't think that Star Wars is that inappropriate to start off with. So, I mean, for me, I would just show them the movies.
Yeah. Is it just random adventures?
No, I'm pretty sure that it's like short condensed versions of the films.
Oh, well, if it were that, and I wouldn't really know. I mean, yeah, like you just show them the movies, or
I mean, okay, look, if I had, this is a bigger question here. If you had a kid, what age do you think you would show them A New Hope?
oh yeah, that's
Because
always
I
been-
think that
yeah.
the original trilogy is a lot more accessible than the prequels, because the prequels are pretty violent, pretty hateful. Whereas the original trilogy, I don't think they're
Yeah.
that harsh, on a child's brain. I think they're pretty uplifting and all.
Yeah.
So my question is, if you had a kid, and this is something I feel strongly about, I don't think gender matters. I think I've never thought that. I think that the kid matters, if your kid's ready or not. But I think that, honestly, 4 years old, I would show my kid New Hope.
Yeah. I've watched like countless videos on YouTube of, like families showing their kids, specific scenes from they watch the movies, but then, they record their reaction to the specific
course, yeah.
scenes of, like, Darth Vader admitting who he is, and in relation to Luke. And
Hey, dude, don't spoil it for people who haven't seen.
if you haven't seen it by now,
I don't know.
and you're listening to a Star Wars podcast, this is just be prefaced by spoilers.
Don't spoil it. Came out in 1980.
But yeah, I would say 4. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, 4.
And it's a good point you made about you could show them the original trilogy. It's less violent.
Yeah, it's not. I mean,
more uplifting.
you don't need it. I hate you.
Exactly.
I wouldn't show my 4-year-old that.
Yeah, and got a lot of intense lightsaber fights.
Yeah, a lot of dismembering, and
Yeah.
even like when Luke loses his hand, it's not that graphic, you know. It's
Or when they cut up in the
the tauntaun.
yeah.
It's warm, you know. That's survival stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Instilling those
Yeah,
The
it's
survival
still young.
survival tactics.
Look, all I know is if kids these days know all about The Walking Dead, and I have a source.
That's true.
My mom's a preschool teacher, and she always comes home and tells me, you know, all the kids are talking about The Walking Dead and Call of Duty Zombies, and they're 3.5, 4 years old.
Wow.
Like, what happened to Luke Skywalker? You know,
Wow.
A New Hope, justice.
Yeah. Well, if you give these kids access to, devices without any sort of
Just show them the original trilogy. Just show them the movie. The point is, I find this series a little pointless. That's the point of this. This children's Star Wars. We already have Forces of Destiny.
Yeah.
Which I think is a cool thing
Disney
for
Channel,
kids.
Yeah.
Because originally I was sort of against it, but then I started watching it, and I was like thinking, one, I enjoyed it. Somewhat. I don't enjoy all the stories. I just enjoy like having Daisy Ridley back in any capacity because she voices Rey, you know?
Yeah.
And having these tales that some of them I don't even bother with caring about them because they're all canon, but they don't necessarily make sense that they would fit. But I do think that like if I was a parent, I would love watching that stuff with my kids.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. Those are little short offshoot stories.
And I think it's still going, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah.
But this, I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
Pointless.
I mean, if
show them the movie. Pull
I mean,
out the Blu-ray.
If it is how you describe it as like sort of condensed version of the movie, then yeah. I don't see the huge point in creating such a thing.
Just watch the movie.
Yeah, kids, it will hold their attention. You can guarantee
Definitely.
that as you introduce it. So I'm like, their attention span,
Yeah.
it'll be great.
My nose is getting a little plugged here, so I think we're gonna close out the show with another random question.
No.
So I'm gonna open the floor to you, G. You have a random question off the cuff to ask me?
I gave you ample time
Uh-huh.
to think, to hopefully think of a name
Oh,
of your
country. Sorry, I was busy hosting the show, G.
well, your mind tends to wander at times, and so
Look.
I'm like, I'm sure you have probably.
My mind wanders when I'm not talking about Star Wars. When Star Wars is on the brain, Star Wars is on the brain. You feel me?
Mm-hmm. If you were a part of this said Star Wars galaxy, but you weren't in any way,
A country singer.
yeah, what kind of job would you like to have? Where would you like to work, and what planet?
What? Well, I think that if I was born young enough before the Battle of Yavin, I would love to live on Alderaan because it's such a peaceful place, such a nice place to live, and it wouldn't get blown up by the time I die, hopefully. But if I was alive, I would say Naboo, but see, it depends on the timeline, man. They got taken over by the Empire too, and
You'd be with the Gungans?
hey, maybe they're not getting bothered. They're just chilling in the sea.
Yeah, and not many people know about them.
Yeah, I think. Damn, I don't want to be a Gungan. I'd get so annoyed by not only people around me but myself.
And the leader.
We don't even need to. Okay, here's the final decision. All right. I would like to be a mouse droid tech operator on the whatever Imperial starship that gets attacked the least. Way in the outer reaches, just working on little droids and tinkering stuff.
You really think? You really think a lot of starships see
Maybe.
it through?
Maybe.
Like, I mean, have you seen the opening of
Look,
Revenge of the Sith?
I said, like a starship that's stationed above, I don't know, a desolate planet.
What would they? That would be
Okay,
a
I actually got a new one. I got this set in stone. I want to be a resort worker on Harloff Minor.
Okay.
Resort planet. Doesn't say action. You get to relax. Leia visits there. I'm sure Han has came through. That's great.
Well, what if someone like Kylo Ren comes around and he just feels bored?
Yeah, give him a good time. Show him all the sights.
No, but he's like he just wants to blow up that planet.
I just ask him not to. I'd give him some coupons for like a free stay.
Oh, a coupon. Okay.
Yeah. Or like I'd be like really cool and like say they have like a punch card where you like visit 10 times and get one night free. I just punch them all for him. Like, this one's you, man.
Yeah. Wow. Like you would be you would be saving the universe
Well, at least my moon or
Ye-
my small planet. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the
I'd say
rebellion.
go blow up Harloff Major.
What if the rebellion adopts that exact technique that you just described?
I think that there would be no Star Wars, it'd just be called Star.
Wow.
Star.
Again, Bob Iger.
That's it. Listen.
If you're listening.
I need to be in that story room. Pablo Hidalgo, give me a job. We can end this war.
We could.
I'm not going to fight your war. I'm going to end it.
Okay.
I Captain Marvel that thing. All right.
Okay.
Are you calling it? I think we need to call it.
Yeah, that right there.
Yeah, I also need to blow my nose. So from a galaxy far, far away and a galaxy right here, I'm signing off for the last time.
Really?
No, I'm going to be back next week.
Okay.
All right, bye, y'all.
I'm right.